All right. Well, so I didn't audition to play Mrs. Malfoy. I auditioned to play Gilderoy Lockhart. So yeah. So I was very pissed off to be offered this. And I read for it because he asked me when I was auditioning for Gilderoy Lockhart. Chris Columbus, who was a lovely man, said, "Would you mind reading a different part?" And I thought, they want me to play 2 parts. I was so thrilled. And then I realised, and so I read very bitterly, and kind of seething with resentment. I think that's why I got the job. And then I thought, oh Christ, Alan Rickman is already in the film playing Snape, and he's so sinister and so terrifying, Alan, even in the dressing room. Like, what am I going to do? And so I wanted as much help as I possibly could. So I came up with the wig, I came up with the cane, I came up with the most excruciating voice thing, and they wanted me in ordinary suits, and I had capes. Basically, I wanted a parrot on my shoulder and a limp and a stutter. Anything I could do to try and be something scary. And then I realised, he's not scary, Lucius, he's pathetic. He's impotent. The reason his son is such a horrible little shit, sorry, at school is because he's so badly bullied at home by such a loveless father. And once I realised I didn't have to play anything powerful, I could play a cowardly bully. I knew, he's just a racist, let's face it. It's not very complicated what he is. You don't look very far to find those people, those race riots in England, people who think the world was better when people like them were in charge. He's a rich white supremacist, and once I realised he was a cowardly bully, it's much easier to play. I didn't have to play evil, I had to play a coward. You had a very different task, I think.
Yeah, I have to confess, I wasn't familiar with the Harry Potter books. And I was approached by a wonderful casting director who was casting all the early Potter films, a lady called Mary Selway. And she said, "You have to play this part." And I said, "I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, who is it? What is this Voldemort person?" And I don't think it's for me. And I tell my sister, who has children, I said, "They asked me this Voldemort person." She said, "What? They offered you Voldemort?" I said, "You have to do it. You must do it." And so I reworked my thinking. And then they showed me some pictures, the imagery of how they would do the makeup, and it looked fantastic. And then quite quickly I was in. So forgive me, I didn't initially go yes, because I just was in ignorance about, I hadn't seen the films, but then I realised what a fantastic part it was and how it unfolded. And of course I read the books, and I obviously focused on the information J.K. Rowling gives about the character, but there was a lot of input from the producers. There definitely was a sense that she wanted her characters realised pretty close to what she had imagined. So there was a sort of collective sense that we must honour what was